You are now tuned into the sounds of Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
Get spoken to. People only see you when you up, then they notice you. Trying to be a legend, create lines that's quotable. Only the real shall last, and I only know a few. People when they feelings always acting emotional. Ain't about a check, then it ain't negotiable. Gotta show respect to the people that's posting you. Soon to be on posters posted up like the older dudes.
Now we aging like fine wine, how we supposed to do. Peep the shade on the timelines, the time poster cool. Shit is black and white like photos from a disposable. Certain situations you ain't end up uncontrollable. All up in their head, I be so confused. I just brush it off, peep the shoulder moves. We all got the same 24, so it's no excuse. Switch it up, we could rap or produce the things you can't have.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that's on all the time, anytime. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all content. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell. Bring your sports game with Big Nate Sports Talk.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Welcome to this episode. We are previewing and also recapping the Final Four for the men's side. We're previewing the championship game, the San Diego State versus UConn's men's basketball. Before we get to that, there's a few things I'd like to say up front. Tomorrow, this episode's recorded, by the way, Brendan Potts and I will be doing a recap of the championship game for the Iowa Hawkeyes and the LSU Tigers. Congratulations to them. There was a bit of technical difficulties with the recapping of the Final Four for the women's. That is currently being edited and will be re-uploaded. So be tuned in for that. And also episode 10. Those technical issues on that side. So again, thank you for tuning in. Continue to tune in. Please like, share, and consider hitting that subscribe button on my YouTube channel here. Appreciate the support. Let's get into it. Where do I begin? San Diego State is advancing to the championship. I felt as though for me, they did all the right things to win this game. I thought it started early. FAU was up by 14, but San Diego did all the right things. I think it started with the second half. I like the energy that they brought out. Again, I thought the key to win this game was the offensive rebounds, and that's something San Diego State did. They had 9 rebounds and brought the game at 65 apiece. I just thought just getting extra possessions, I thought that was just, to me, that was the momentum changer. And they had the 1-point lead going into the final section of the fourth quarter. And for some unknown reason, missed it, and Butler hit that shot. I really thought the transition game for Florida was completely nowhere to be found. They had no fast break points. I thought that was something that was rarely telling. If you looked on paper, I looked at the stats before I recorded the video. They are in the top 70. I think they're about around 64th or 65th in fast break points, and they average about 12 a game. Just painfully, they only had 2 half-court points.
What are you? Ah! can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
2 fast break points. I'm sorry. And San Diego, that also too was the turnovers. I thought they did a really good job with taking care of the ball. If it's interesting, I watched some games in the tournament where they're very good with the basketball. They can get a little sloppy. They just had 3 turnovers in the first 24 minutes of the game compared to the previous games. FAU committed 10 turnovers, where San Diego only had 8. I can't say more than that, other than to me, FAU won the first half of the game. They shot 15 or 28. They were under 45% from 3. They adjusted well to to San Diego State's defense, and a defense that's been pretty good to hold opponents from 3. If you watch the preview, I said they hold teams to about 17%. And it's interesting that balanced, when you look at the game, they had 9 different players that scored. Nick Boyd had 9 points, if I remember correctly, on threes. And I thought that was essentially it. Other than that, I was really quite disappointed in FAU in the second half. But congratulations to San Diego State. I still didn't have a chance to put the game away. For 32 minutes, they had the game was in their hands, and it went away. When you shoot a 50% from 3, that's just amazing to me. And I just thought, especially San Diego State, especially what FAU did, there was a drop coverage in the middle of the floor where they had the shoot behind or have a step to go to the lane. And San Diego State made those adjustments in the second half. And I thought that was it for them. So disappointed, but it was a good game overall. They were outscored 39-31 in the second half. That's the 5th largest comeback in the Final Four, if I want to say correctly. And this is San Diego's last. This is their first national championship appearance, so congratulations to them. So you just got to play better. But other than that, it was a good game. We're going to get into the sponsor of this of the podcast, and that is Zagnif Apparel. Do you want to dress like you're famous, ladies and gentlemen? Then why don't you go on down, and check out Zagnif Apparel, where you could dress like you're famous. You can enjoy a nice 50% off using my code that you see on the screen here, Big Nate. Nice 50% off. Zagnif Apparel, LCC.
The following is a presentation of Zagnif Productions, LLC. Introducing Zagnif Apparel. Our comfortable line of leisure wear and athletic wear will have you comfortable and stylish at any occasion. Whether you're at the gym, out shopping, or just relaxing at home. Whether you're an athlete or just want to lay around the house, we've got the perfect outfit for you. Stop by our website today and pick up your favorite pieces. Zagnif Apparel. Dress like you're already famous.
And again, 50% off using my code, Big Nate. Thank you, Zagnif Apparel, for being a sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk. Let's get into the next game, and that was number 5 Miami versus number 4 UConn. This was actually a pretty good game, but I expected UConn to win. The final score was 72-59.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airwaves, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How in God's name?
Hey, UConn is just on a mission, and they're doing all the right things to. They've shown why they've been a successful team this year. It's led by Jordan Hawkins, DMV's finest. Adama Sonoko. They're doing all the right things. I really thought, UConn from the jump. I mean, just had the game under control pretty much. I mean, to the point where they had a double-digit lead in the first half. There were runs that Miami tried to stay in the game, but I just felt like UConn just took advantage, and whether it was the length and size or the outside shooting, no matter what Miami could do, it just wasn't enough. I really thought they were down. Miami was down 10 with about 4 minutes, and they just couldn't get it together. There was a turnover, and then that turnover right there, coming out the media timeout, and it ends up being a foul, and you're down 12. I don't really think you can give UConn credit for the win, but offensively, they weren't here. They weren't in communication. They weren't in harmony, and I think the defense really for UConn played a role in that, especially in the second half. The Miami's offense to me was disappointing in the second half. There was one point where it was 49-37, and you had it, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, just the threes. The threes were just killing Miami. No advantage. I mean, there was a couple times where they had they were up 13. And again, same thing in the first half. You really didn't do much at all. I mean, it was 37-24 at halftime. I mean, they made 9 shots just in the first, where I think it was just threes. Jordan Miller was your leading scorer going into the halftime. I mean, UConn shot 50% from the field compared to, and also hit 6 threes. I mean, I could find games.
Mm-hmm. I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
It was very lopsided to me, and I was very disappointed in that. But it's disappointing, for the Atlantic, and Miami. I feel bad for both teams. They got there. Duke and UNC last year got there, and then Louisville and Kentucky 2012. So far, the only 3 states. Now, Florida, FAU, and Miami. Those are only 3 states to have 2 teams in the Final Four. And look, and you take the good with the bad. This is one thing that you could say is it was a great season. Keep your heads up. And this is a memory of a lifetime. Not too many people can sit there and say, I got to the national championship. And that's what March Madness is all about. It's about creating memories. It's also about creating a legacy. And I thought that's what those guys did out there. Give Dan Hurley credit. I thought he's been doing a fantastic job in this whole tournament with the play calling. I definitely thought they took advantage. There were a lot of the aggressive hedges and ball screens Miami was throwing at them. And again, the paint was going to be key. Adamo Sonoko, they dared him to shoot the ball. They made him be a shooter instead of posting up. And he did all that. Yeah, the rim protection, I really thought that was also key. That hurt Miami in the first half. They couldn't get anything going. Donovan, um, Klingen, it just hurt them, and I really felt like they kept them off the free throw line. They did everything, and there were just no adjustments whatsoever. So, um, give UConn credit; it was a good season for Miami, and I do actually predict them to be back next year. I actually have them in my early to call it. I have them around the top 20 um, early season preseason rankings. So let's transition actually into the championship game. But before we get to that, let's take a quick break with this song. And we're back. We're previewing the championship game, number 5 San Diego State versus number 4 UConn. This should be an interesting basketball game. Again, this is I feel like the momentum is going towards UConn because they've dominated on their run. If you actually look at the whole tournament, the win against Miami was their tightest contest since they started. I mean, they beat Iona by 24, St. Mary's by 15, Gonzaga by 28, and Arkansas, I think it was 23, if I'm mistaken. Again, as I told you, they have depth and they have identity, and they have talent. It starts with Jordan Hawkins to me, who I think off the ball can play. Adama Sonoko. It's just to me an interior paint beast. Then you have the other guys, Donovan Klingman, Andre Jackson, others. Like offensively and defensively, they're tough on both ends of the court, and they will make you work for 40 minutes a game. And give Dan Hurley a lot of credit. Especially from their guard play, they always get timely shots, and that's what I like about this UConn team. When I look at San Diego State, I really think they have an identity that starts with defense, and I believe if you look, I think it's like the advanced stats, they're like fourth. I think they're going to have to be physical, but they're going to have to find a balance where you're going to have to get a lot of scoring from your guards play. We could talk about Lamont Butler, who won them the game, but if you pay attention, you got another guy by the name of Matt Bradley. In that game, him, Damian Trammell, they all have to be ready to ball. I think it's going to start with them. I really think when you look at this game, it's not a good matchup. First and foremost, that's what I don't like about this game. First of all, I don't like the matchups at all. They are the second half. San Diego State won that game against FAU because they were aggressive on the rebounds. I'm not expecting much that with UConn. UConn to me is going to take advantage of the mismatches in size and create and get into the paint. I just don't think you can beat teams just shooting threes. UConn, I believe, was in the top 15 when stopping the threes. So you have to come out aggressive and you have to come out swinging. And you have to get a run going, everything. I mean, with UConn, I just think that I don't think there's not a weakness that you can say that can really, really make you go, damn, can you beat them? When you look at San Diego State, I mean, I think it's possible. They have the rotation. I mean, they go what? I think in the FAU game, I think they went 9 deep, and they keep a lot of fresh legs out there. I mean, against Charleston and Fulman, I think they've got their defense. To me, I think it's underrated, but they're going to be ready to play. I don't think they'll allow a lot of threes. I think they're going to make them beat them inside the paint, and I really think they have. Even I said earlier, I just said a minute ago, I don't think they can handle the strength and the interior size of UConn. I think they're going to have to think smartly using their strength and being physical. And my key is how those matchups will look. I think you just got to, if you're San Diego State, even though I don't think you should try it, but I think you're going to have to beat them shooting the ball. And you're just going to have to try to box out. You're going to have to switch, pick your feet up on defense. You're going to have to – it's going to start your defense first. Your defense wins championships. It starts with that. Your three-point shooters that I think were key in this win against FAU, they're going to show up when there's an open shot, take it. Don't hesitate for 1 second. And for me, I really do think that it's going to come down to those things. Is this mismatch. And I don't have it as a blowout, but I don't see it no more than UConn winning by 15 points. I just think UConn just has the numbers. I think it just has the size, and they're just a well-balanced team. I think San Diego State will stay in it until late about the second half. I think they'll come out aggressive. I think they'll come out ready to play. But I'm not really expecting much of San Diego State. I think they'll keep it close, under 15 points. I'm going to say UConn Huskies will win the national championship 75. You know what? I'm going to say 75. 65.
Guaranteed.
I think that it's not going to be close, but I think San Diego State will do just enough to stay in the game, because I think they're going to make their presence known early. But I'm curious to see how particular inside the paint things will look for San Diego State. But ladies and gentlemen, let's tune into our last subject of the night, and that is final
incoming message.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize.
My final message is this has been fun. It's been a fun college basketball season. I'm glad to see a lot of surprises. But I'm also really keen on just ensuring that when we tell the stories of these players and when we're giving the facts and when we're doing all the little things, is that we make sure that we're doing it and calling out the biases. Again, everyone's going to have a bias. Everyone's going to have their opinions and different things like that. But let's not take away the fact that what we're seeing is we're witnessing a lot of greatness in both tournaments, and I just kind of feel like we're taking that away because of just how we shape our opinions. And I'm curious to get Brendan Potts' thoughts on the national championship this evening that occurred with LSU and Iowa. I'm curious to get his thoughts on that. But that's my final message. Also, too, like I said, we are doing some cosmetic things to the podcast, so don't panic. We're still going to be recording. We're still going to get you guys some content. We're just doing some cosmetic things. That'll take a couple weeks, and we're kind of starting to make those changes now. So that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Who you think is going to win? Who do you expect? How do you like the Final Four? And who you expect to win this game? But until then, thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good night. Peace. Stay up.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you, yeah. I want to thank you. Ooh. For all the times you put up with me. Thank you. And you helped me retain my sanity. Thank you. I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you for everything.